Hi, I'm Midge Shoemaker, and today is day 5 of my doing 100 days of YouTube videos and focusing on doing at least 2 things every day that I don't want to do that I know are good for me. So, yay! Or 2 things every day that I've just been avoiding because I don't want to do them, but I need to do them. So, um, whew, today's been an interesting day. And of course, I'm doing at least 2 things, and I'm like, I'm done with my 2 things. I don't want to do anymore. And then I keep doing more. So today I tried not to do more. And then, then I just think God has a sick sense of humor. And I ended up doing more anyway. Um, maybe it's just me, my personal interpretation, but I didn't appreciate the joke. But I got that. I got the message either way. I'm asthmatic. I don't know if any of you out there have asthma, but I do have asthma. And it can be triggered by dust, by allergies, by extreme exercises. It can also be triggered by stress. It can be triggered by stress, or when I have anxiety attacks or panic attacks, it can trigger an asthma attack as well. So lots of different things that can trigger asthma attacks. So I ate my dinner and I was playing games on my phone and watching TV and just having no intention whatsoever of doing anything else productive for today, because I was like, I'm done. I did my things I had to do today and I'm just not doing anything else. So because I trying to remember, I did stuff at work and I'm like, that counts. I did look up for my friend. She asked me to look up her insurance at my work to see if we took her insurance. And I did it. I wasn't really 100% comfortable doing that, but I did it. And I know it's okay to do that because people call all the time and ask if we take their insurance, and I can look it up and say yes or no. But because she wasn't on the phone and she wasn't there in person, she just asked me outside of work, and I'm like, I know I'm at work to look it up, but I'm like, But I asked, I did it, and I was like, that was one thing I didn't really want to do, wasn't really comfortable with, but I did it because there's nothing wrong with doing that, and it's helping out a friend. It just puts me I feel like in an awkward situation, but it turned out okay. I was fine. I was like, it was good. I'm like, okay, I'm good. And then, of course, I messaged her tonight, so that took care of that, and then I did my dishes, and I'm like, I'm good. Maybe there's one other thing I need to do, and I just don't want to do. And I know I had some ideas in my head of things to do today, and then my phone was freaking out on me at work and after work, and it wasn't turning on, and I was freaking out like I was gonna have to buy a new phone and all these things I was gonna have to do, and my brain was just mentally going crazy, and I was like, God, I can't do this. And I was just stressing out. And then I remembered yesterday when I had like the worst headache, and I just felt like I needed to decompress, and I just relaxed and played some games on my phone for a few minutes, and then I was fine. But I did stuff yesterday, and I overdid stuff on Monday, so I was like, I'm not overdoing stuff today, and I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. And then like I said, I did get my phone to turn on, and then I was able to just get it to restart, to reboot, and it seems to be working. So I hope it continues to work, because now I can make my videos. So I'm very grateful for that. So that I'm not having to buy a new phone, and then I'm just like, okay. And then I checked my mail. I don't normally check my mail, but I was like, okay, fine, I'll go check my mail, check the mail, do that. That counts. I'm done with my things I don't want to do for the day. And I was just, I made my dinner, and I was just like, okay, I can relax and play games and watch TV, and it's no big deal. And I did for a little bit. And then I finished my dinner, and then I started having problems breathing and coughing and starting to have an asthma attack. And I was like, what the heck? This is not supposed to happen. And I'm like thinking about, I didn't eat anything I'm allergic to. I didn't do anything out of the ordinary. There's nothing new going on in my house that wasn't already there. So the only other reason I could think that I'm having an asthma attack is because I'm panicking, or I'm having anxiety. And I was just like, oh, what am I anxious about? What am I freaking out about? And I was like, because I'm not doing stuff that I should be doing, that I don't want to do. And one of those things is changing the air filter that I should have done when I turned on my heater from AC to the heater, and I didn't do it, and it needed to be done for a few months. So very bad of me. So, and part of the reason I don't like to do it is because I'm not a huge fan of heights. I don't know what it is. I'm like, I never had a problem climbing trees or climbing, climbing mountains or things like that. That's not an issue for me because you can like touch the ground. You're touching something solid the whole time. No big deal. But climbing rickety ladders where you could fall, that don't feel safe. Things like that don't feel safe to me. I don't feel comfortable with that. So, it makes me nervous. I don't like standing too close to an edge of something because I'm afraid I'm going to fall. Too many anxieties. So I also don't understand why in Arizona they put all of the filters and things up on the ceiling. I'm like, why does it have to be on the ceiling? Seriously. Of course, we had a swamp cooler when I was growing up, but it was on the roof when you had to go up and wet down the pads and change them. And so me and my brother would climb through the tree to get onto the roof and do that. And then my biological mom cut the branches off so they couldn't climb onto the tree. And then she needed us to get up on the roof, so she still had to have us get out a ladder and get up there. And I was like, the tree was better and faster than the stupid ladder. But apparently she thought it was safer to use a ladder than it was to climb the tree. And I personally disagree. But anyway, I don't have trees. And of course the filter is in the house. It just happens to be in the ceiling, so I have to climb up. And I have a step stool, but it's just a little step stool, so it just kind of gives me a step up. And I am still not tall enough to reach the ceiling with a step up. And a step up will help to reach like a high shelf or something, but not the ceiling. And definitely not in this house. So I had to stand on a chair because I don't have a step ladder. I didn't borrow a step ladder. I know I have a friend that has one, and I thought about messaging her and asking her if I could borrow it. And then I just didn't because I just didn't want to. And then because it's all that extra work to message somebody to go borrow it and then come use it and then take it back. And that would have been exercise. That would have been good for me. And I just didn't want to do it. Hence my videos doing things I don't want to do just for exercise, because they're good things for me. It's good for me to socialize. It's good for me to get out. It's good for me to do things. And I was just like, not happening today. So when I'm having an asthma attack and I can't breathe, I'm like, okay, fine. I will get on the stupid chair and I will change the stupid filter. So I did. I climbed up on the chair and I changed the filter. And the interesting thing is, as soon as I was screwing the little thing back up on the top to like stick it in there, the heater came on again. So I was like, cool, sucked that right up again. But I started to be able to breathe just a little bit better after that. And the other thing that I was avoiding was working on my book. And so trying to sort out how to organize chapters in my book and trying to figure out the best way to do this for my story. And I just decided to just keep going the way that I was going with my story, with my book. So I either at this point, I've started it at chapter 13, which I originally wanted to be my chapter 1. And so I want to write the whole thing from there. So I'm either at the end of it going to have to rewrite the first 12 chapters to put in the information to kind of explain the rules and the laws of the kingdom, or I have to write the prequel series, which is going to be Linoya and the Teachers of Powers, which is the first one, and then The Fall of Espenglanda. And then I will probably have to write the 2 other books, Sonia and Pegland, because Sonia will explain all of the rules of the kingdom and how it gets set up the way that it is for when The Wise One, The Plight of the Wise One book comes out. Or for Pegland, which is The Boy from the Stone, which is the book after The Plight of the Wise One. So yes, I still have 3 other books that I need to write that technically go before The Plight of the Wise One, that would explain things in The Plight of the Wise One. So yes, I write my books and stories out of order because in my head, I literally started it much further in the future, and then I just kept going backwards in time to explain the future, and then I went forward in time to where the story ends to, yeah. So there's just so much from beginning to end. And yeah, and I've just spent years creating the stories, and now I will have to spend years typing them up and writing them out and trying to find a way to put them into words that other people can understand and enjoy. So that is the process, which is a process that I constantly avoid. So I also avoided asking people for help. I did send a text message to my editing friend because I think it's been 2 weeks since she said she would help me. So I sent her a text. I'm like, has it been 2 weeks? Is this the week you could help me, or is it next week or whatever? She didn't respond back yet, so that's okay. At least I sent the text, so it's out there. And I thought about asking my son if he could help me because I know he's been taking a class on marketing. So I'm like, hey, if I publish my book, you'll help me market it, right? Because that would be nice, and it would be a way to like connect with my son and have him help show me do stuff, which would be help show me how to do stuff, which would be really cool too. So I would love to have the opportunity to do more with him and to interact with him and have him, show off his skills to me. I think it would be awesome, but I don't know if he would be interested in helping me with that. I have to ask him, and I chickened out and I didn't ask him that either. So of course I haven't published my book either, so there's really nothing for him to market or to help me market until I actually publish it. So this is my list of excuses. I'm very good at excuses and very good at putting off things that I'm nervous about or anxious about or that I don't want to do. But I think God was trying to teach me today with my lovely little asthma attack that if I get too anxious, have too much anxiety, that I struggle to breathe. And if I want to be able to breathe, one, I should definitely change the filters in my house because that would probably help immensely when it comes to breathing and allergies. And and two, I should continue to do the things that I don't necessarily want to do that need to be done. Like, I do want to publish a book. I can't say I don't want to publish my book. I do. And I would love to have my son help me market the book. So these are things I would love to have happen. It's just the process of writing the book, of putting myself out there, of overcoming the things that I'm afraid of in order to do all of that. So it's kind of a catch-22. It's a I want to, but I'm afraid to, and I'm struggling to find the motivation or the bridge, something to bridge that gap to get me to meet my goals. And so doing these things that I don't want to do, having to face my fears, having to do the things that bridge the gaps to get to my ultimate goal is that's the hard part for me. So that's what I'm trying to do. And writing my book, which I enjoyed writing it. I actually read through 2 chapters and made some minor changes and adjustments and spent about an hour working on it tonight. And that was fantastic. I haven't got to like new material, but I did read through what I currently have. So I have some ideas, and I know there's some things that I need to add to the next chapter. And then I will be on to what's after that, whatever's after that. And then I can see where the story goes, and it will be fun and exciting to just write it out and see where it goes. And then I have to finish the whole thing, and I don't know how long that will take or how long it will be. And then once it's finished, I can go back through and reread and revise to try to make it flow a little bit better. And then when it's all done, I can share it with people, and then I can get feedback and comments and have to go back through and fix and update and change and all of those things. So and then of course I think that far ahead. That's what my brain does. It goes that far ahead of where I'm going to have to be. And then I hit this overwhelmed state, and then I'm just like, and I can't do it, and I'm just not going to, and I'm just done. So I'm very grateful that tonight I did it. I spent an hour and I read through a couple of chapters and made some revisions, kind of refreshing in my brain where I'm at with the story and where it's going, and making sure that I like what it says and that I'm okay with it, and I'm adding the stuff that I know I need to add for those chapters, and then I can move on. It also makes me hopeful that I will actually have some new material to share at my writing group next month when I go, which is only in like 2 weeks. So I've got like 2 weeks to come up with new material to read them something I haven't already written. So at this rate, I've only done like a chapter a week, which is okay because at least I'm working on it. And the more I work on it, the closer I get to my ultimate goal of being published. So this is a good thing. It's progress, not perfection, and baby steps, one day at a time, one thing at a time. But I'm aware that all the little things that I keep doing that are removing all of my excuses and that help me get closer to my ultimate goals, it also helps to remove those feelings of anxiety, and it helps to remove the feelings of being overwhelmed, because the amount of stuff that I have to deal with shrinks with everything that I choose to do, even if it's something I don't really want to do. So now I no longer have to worry about changing the filter for the air conditioning and heater for at least another 3 months, because the filters I bought are good for 3 months. So I'm good for another 3 months, which is nice to know. So by the time I'm at the end of these videos, I will have to stand on a chair and do it again, or I will maybe have learned enough and I will borrow a step stool from a friend and do it myself. A step ladder, not a step stool. I have a step stool. I need a step ladder. I will borrow a step ladder, because that's a little bit safer than standing on a chair. A little less panic going on in my head to stand on a step stool and stand on a step ladder than a chair. But anyway, I did it. That's what I did for today. Those are my things I did not want to do that I did today. So, and of course, there's lists of other things that I still have not done that are on my to-do list. I think my to-do list of 33 things keeps getting longer instead of shorter, and I'm not entirely sure how that happens. But I think someone at work today said something that like, oh, I did, it was one of the patients and they were leaving. They said, okay, I've done the one thing on my to-do list for today. But when she came in, she was given more things to do, like some orders and stuff she had to do outside of our office. And so she's like, oh, that's my one thing to do today. I guess I'm done. And I was like, well, yeah, you just got 2 more when you walked out the door. And she was like, oh, yeah, thanks for that. And I was like, well, there you go. Not going to be bored the rest of the day. You have other things to do. But I think that's kind of how I feel with my things that I don't want to do. It's like the more things I do, there seems to be more things just lined up waiting. And it's like it's multiplying the number of things that I have to do. I didn't realize I was putting off that many things, or that by doing certain things, it creates more things to be done. So not entirely sure that I like that, but again, this was what I felt like God wanted me to do, and I feel like it's making me feel better doing it. But it's still a struggle, and it's still that internal battle. And today I was like, I'm just not going to, and that I couldn't breathe. So I was like, okay, fine, I want to breathe, and I don't want to use my inhaler, so I will do what I need to do so that I can breathe without having to use my inhaler. And as you can see, I'm breathing just fine right now, so my asthma cleared up. My little attack went away when I changed my filter and then chose to write in my book and then chose to make my videos. And now I'm choosing to go write in my journal and go to bed, because I definitely need to go to bed. So anyway, that's what I have for today. If you like these videos, you can hit like, subscribe, share with someone else if you think they'll like it too. If you have any experiences you'd like to share or any words of encouragement, I would appreciate that. And thanks for the person that did send me words of encouragement. I appreciate that too. And that's all I have for today. So I hope you have a great day full of gratitude.